A very good morning, everyone. In today's section, we are going to discuss about the dissolution of partnership form. So let's know what things we have to prepare under this chapter, especially. Sometimes we have to pass the journal entries, and we have to go through the preparation of realization account, partner's capital account, cash or bank account, partner's loan account, and even sometimes we might have to prepare the memorandum balance sheet as well. So let's see what sorts of journal entries we need to pass over here. So at first we need to close all the assets. So for closing assets, we have to pass the entry realization account debit to sundry assets account. Suppose there are land and building, plant and machinery, then we have to do realization account debit to land and building to plant and machinery. Likely we have to pass on the entry individually, realization account debit to sundry assets. But dear students, you should be clear that we have to close only those assets except cash or bank, ADB suspense, PL account, and loan to partners given in the asset side of the balance sheet. So next entry is for third-party liability close. So for closing third-party liability or outsiders liability, we have to debit sundry liability and we have to credit realization account. Suppose there is the creditors, there is bills payable, then we have to debit sundry creditors, bills payable, and credit realization account. So there might be PDD. PDD refers to provision for bad and doubtful debt, and IFR is actually investment fluctuation reserve. So if you see these two things in the questions, then just debit these two: PDD account debit, IFR account debit to realization. That means PDD and IFR is to be transferred to realization account. For assets realized, so assets realized mean we sold the assets by receiving cash or check. So in such a case, we have to debit cash or bank account and we have to credit realization account. Even the question has said nothing about outsiders liability. They are compulsorily to be paid or settled. So for a settlement of outsiders liability or payment of third party liability, we have to debit realization and we have to credit bank. Suppose we paid creditors of 5,000, then we have to debit realization account and we have to credit cash or bank by 5,000 rupees. As for dissolution expenses or realization expenses, we have to debit to realization account and we have to credit to cash or bank or to two partners capital. So to cash and bank, in case nothing information is given and supposed we have paid the dissolution expense, but sometimes the partner might pay on behalf of the firm. In such a case, we have to credit partner's capital. Suppose realization expenses of 5,000 is paid by partner Mr. A. Then we have to debit realization account debit to A's capital. So another entry is for assets taken over by partner. Sometimes the partner might take the estate of the firm. So in such a case, we have to debit partner's capital account and we have to credit realization account. Suppose A took our furniture of rupees 10,000. Then we have to debit A's capital by 10,000 and we have to credit realization by 10,000. Sometimes the partner might take over the liability. So in case a liability is undertaken by the partner, then we have to debit realization and we have to credit partner's capital account. Suppose creditor is to be paid by Mr. A and A is a partner. So in such a case, realization account debit to A's capital. Sometimes partners agree to pay his brother or Mrs. loan. In such a case, we have to do realization account debit to respective partner's capital account. So there might be the partner's loan which is taken by the firm. So if firm has obtained a loan from partner, that is subject to be paid directly in form of cash or check. So the loan, partner's loan, which is appeared at the liability side of the balance sheet, then we have to debit partner's loan account and we have to credit cash or bank. That means we have to pay partner's loan directly from cash, either from check. So partner's loan account debit to cash or bank account for the treatment of loan given in the liability side of the balance sheet. So similarly, there might be loan presence of loan given to partners in the asset side of the balance sheet. So for the loan given or advance to the partner, we have to debit partner's capital and we have to credit respective partner's loan account. So actually loan advance to partner is subject to be received. So we have adjusted that amount through his capital account. So that means partner's capital account will be debited and respective partner's loan account will be credited. So finally, we have to calculate the profit or loss on realization. And for that, if there is the profit, then we have to credit partner's capital account because profit increases the partner's capital. That's why we have to credit their partner's capital account and vice versa. So if there is loss, then partner's capital account should be debited and realization account should be credited. So I think you are clear. For profit, realization to partner's capital, and for loss, partner's capital to realization. So if there is the presence of any types of accumulated profit or reserve in the balance sheet's liability section, then we have to transfer those as we have done previously in addition or retirement. So there may be general reserve, there may be WCR, the workman compensation reserve, PL account, and whatever another reserve like its contingency reserve, etc. So whatever is there in the liability sections in forms of accumulated profit or reserve, then you should transfer it. Then entry will be general reserve account debit, WCR account debit, PL account debit, reserve account debit to partner's capital. I have given a streak on WCR because there might be some claim, so we have to treat in a separate way for WCR at that time. So I'll be talking or discussing about this in later topics. So next one is for writing of ADB suspense or deferred revenue expenses and PL account. So in asset side, there are especially three things given. One is goodwill, that is old goodwill. Another is ADB suspense, and next one is PL account. For goodwill, we don't treat here as we have to write it off as we have done in addition retirement, but here you have to treat goodwill as a furniture. So simply think that is a type of furniture or whatever other assets, but don't think that is old goodwill. So for the rest too, you have to write it off. So for writing off ADB suspense and PL account, we have to debit respective partner's capital account and we have to credit ADB suspense and PL account as well. And now we are into the final section. So finally, as we are going to close the form, we are going to dissolve the form. So we have to now go for final payment or settlement to the partners. Either we have to pay to partners or we have to receive from partners. So if we have to pay to the partners, then partners capital account will be debit and cash or bank will be credit, and vice versa. If we have to receive from partners, then cash or bank account debit to partners capital. So I have given here note how to calculate profit or loss on realization. So if you are going to calculate profit or loss through the journal entries, then credit all realization account credit total minus realization account debit total, whatever the value comes. If positive, that is profit. If negative, that is loss. And for profit, you have to pass realization account debit to partners capital, and for loss, partners capital to realization. And for final payment, I'll be showing you by an example as well in later class. But today, just I'll give you simple note. So for final payment calculation or settlement of amount to the partners, we have to prepare certain working notes. So at first, write name of all the partners and just take the capital balance of those partner. Then through the journal entry, whatever is credited to them should be added, whatever is debited should be deducted, and if the positive value arises, that is we have to pay to partner, that means partner's capital to cash or bank. And if the result is negative, then that means we have to receive from partners, that time the entry will be cash or bank to partner's capital. Hope you all have got it. Thank you so much.